Alrighty, these will be the people do's. Alright, one more time at it. Alright, guess what, people? I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving legal advice. Educational purposes only. Okay? Do your own research. Arm yourself with knowledge. Use that Second Amendment. Alright, there's going to be a couple of videos here. So, what we're going to do is watch this one with this one. Okay, I've seen a couple of his videos. He's got great information. I'm not a substitute for his videos, so go check him out. Okay, and I believe that you're gonna learn some great intel information. Okay, so let's start off with this one right here and end with this one. Alrighty. The Sonic Smashers. Well, we'll have to take a commercial break. After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? Supreme Decisions here, and today I want to answer a question. Can statements prior to being Mirandized be suppressed? Just one of...
Alright, before we get any further, he's going to put his website channel on there. So if you want to get more details on constitutional counsel from him, he's going to produce that. So on the sideline, if you want to write it down, and go check him out. Again, he's got some great information. But that being said, I only seen a good couple of videos, and I like what I see. And don't forget, like I did, to hit the thumbs up. Alright, let's proceed forward.
Is where police officers often arrest someone and not read them their Miranda rights. Why? Because it's a minor issue to the police officer. But here's a quick breakdown. Miranda warnings are only required when custody. The person is in police custody. Now understand what that means. They are not free to leave or in a setting that is functionally equivalent of an arrest. If you are in the back seat, you are supposed to be Mirandized, period. If you are down at the police station, you're supposed to have already been Mirandized, period. These things most police officers do not do. In interrogation, the police are asking questions or making statements reasonably likely to solicit an incriminating response.
I'm going to add two, right? So even when what are you doing? You put your thumbprints, your fingerprints. You are incriminating yourself, okay? And if you haven't been randomized, do what he's saying, right? Any information while you're in there getting processed, everything is incriminating to you, okay? So be fully aware, even if you say, I invoke the Fifth Amendment, stick to it. The only thing you would do is invoke a right and ask questions. Never give answers, people, all right? But when you do that, any questions the officer asks you when you plead the Fifth, do not answer any more questions. Once you do, the Fifth Amendment is null and void, and then you turn around and actually have to invoke it again. And this is the Supreme Court rulings on that, which is blankety blank ridiculous.
One of those questions. What's your name? Do you have an ID on you? These are questions or statements that are likely to elicit an incriminating response because remember, any answer can and will be held against you in court. So this...
What have I told you guys? By giving your name starts the process for court. Okay? That's the reason why in the warrants it says, or the Fourth Amendment, it says to give information of what the person looks like. And it's supposed to be in great detail, right? But it never says get names.
Goes into your right to privacy. And if both are present, failure to give Miranda warnings makes any resulting statements presumptuously inadmissible in the prosecution's case in chief. Always understand that. You can have statements prior to being Mirandized suppressed. Suppressing pre-Miranda statement. You can argue suppression if you were in custody and being interrogated without the warning. Example, police officers arrest you and immediately begin questioning you. Now, the arrest, they'll say, oh, you're not under arrest, you're being detained. However, you're in handcuffs and you're sitting down or you're in the car and they begin asking you questions and only later read you your Miranda right. If that happens, everything prior to them reading you your Miranda rights is subject to suppression, and those statements are often suppressed when executed properly for the request. Now, exemptions. Here is the most common workaround. Why? Because we always tell people you have the right to remain silent. Most people don't have the ability to. They use the spontaneous utterance or voluntary statement exception. If you blurt something out on your own, not in response to a question, or even if you're yelling at an officer and it's in regards to the question, Miranda does not apply. Those are admissible. Again, you have the right to remain silent, but most people don't have the ability. And if you're yelling something out, it is then voluntary and used in court against you. Now, the public safety exception, the New York v. Quarles, officers can ask limited questions without Miranda if it is necessary to protect the public. Now, one of those will be, where is the gun? That's because they already know there is a gun present. Now, if they don't know and they ask, that is a violation and you don't have to answer that. Now, even if suppressed from the prosecution's main case, pre-Miranda statements may sometimes be used to impeach a defendant if they testify inconsistently later. This is why you must understand you need a lot of times someone else to make sure you're not walking yourself into a trap, which can then bite you in the butt later. And in this, your key cases are going to be Miranda v. Arizona, 1966, which established the rule of the prior Miranda suppressions. Rhode Island v. Ennis, it defined the word interrogation, because remember, everything I talk about goes through a process, and this gives you the process of what constitutes an interrogation. Oregon v. Elstad, statements made before Miranda warnings can sometimes taint later ones, unless the later waiver is shown to be voluntary. And Missouri v. Serbert, 2004, police can't deliberately lay Miranda to get a confession first, then Mirandize and repeat questioning. It is a question first tactic by police or detectives. This is one that you must understand and be willing and able to apply to protect yourself. And if you were in custody and questioned without being Mirandized, those statements are strong candidates for suppression. And you have my contact email as well as in the description, you're going to see a link to set up consultations. I'm Supreme, and stay protected.
All right, come on, Internet. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, and you may have to listen to this a couple times because and the court cases he looks up, get in there, write the things down, look them up, okay? Keep it on hand. Remind yourself every so often because you never know. Most people don't even realize in Texas Transportation Code 543, any detainment is a custodial arrest. That's the reason why I keep telling you guys, have them read your Mirandas. As soon as they pull you over, read your Mirandas. All right, let's go.
All right, Supreme Decisions here. And today I want to read something off to you because it was something that I found out because you know I always go after police officers, and I've also been doing a lot of little stories here and there on Harris County, Texas, which is Houston. But I want to get this one to you because now I'm going to talk about the district attorney's office and again emphasize why you should always challenge everything from the police officers to the district attorney to every aspect of the case and stay in control of it. Now, Harris County District Attorney's Office suspended Alex Musasas. Now, I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but you're going to actually see, hopefully, a picture and his name. Now, the reason they suspended him was because he found out there was hundreds, not 100, not 200, not 300. There were more than 500 cases went before they stopped him totally that were misfiled cases, and it showed that the Harris County District Attorney's Office was guilty of overcharging. Remember, I spoke to you about that as a prosecutorial tactic. They will overcharge you to force a plea deal. Now, this is also why I always tell you, make sure you're laying out your case properly. And if you're not, that's why you need to put it over into the hands of someone that's capable of doing so. And if they're not, you hold them responsible because you are entitled to a vigorous defense. Now, here's what the gist of it is. They filed the wrong charges and convicted people in hundreds of cases that dated back to 2020. Now, keep in mind, Alex stated it stemmed from one case. He started looking at each case and with that charge. So let that sink in. It was one case he saw. So then he went back with just that one charge and went back all the way to 2020 and found over, I believe the initial number was over 300. He then started doing that. Again, I always talk about the process, line by line, precept upon precept. Everything you do has an order and a process. Once he went through those back to 2020, he found more than 300. He then went back again on a second charge and went all the way back to 2020 before they stopped him. He found a couple of hundred more on a second charge, more than 300, and then began looking and found hundreds more. This is why I speak about the most difficult people to work for are the innocent, because innocent people think the law works how it's supposed to be or as is written, and forgetting that this is an adversarial system where you actually have to fight. Yes, that's what I'm talking. You have to fight. And if you're choosing not to fight, the other side has not forgot their job to get money and make you pay the most for whatever it is they feel you should pay for, even if you're not guilty of it, which is why they are so comfortable with overcharging you. And this young man was suspended because he found out they were doing this illegal tactic. Now, the district attorney in Harris County was okay with the...
Now, a step further. This is the reason why most people, they subtract certain charges to get people to do a plea. This is the reason why 98% of the people actually convict themselves. It's the plea itself has been the conviction.